imagine that you are going on a jam-packed bus, with one side open to the public and one side only limited to handicapped personnel. The driver notices that there are no handicapped people traveling on the bus and there is so much crowd on the general public side. He would feel sorry for the people and open the side for handicapped people. What will the people do? They will move themselves to the empty space. Every person will try to be seated on the bus, and the rest who did not get the place will be standing with some space. So, if we replace this bus with a cell membrane, and replace the people with particles, you will get to understand a really interesting phenomenon. These were the particles that were jam-packed with each other. Suddenly, a barrier is opened and an empty space is exposed to the area. The particles will start to move from a higher concentration to a lower concentration. The particles will then spread themselves randomly. In simpler words, we name this process as diffusion. Coming back to our example of the bus. So, every person in the bus is in motion, so they all are moving randomly. Suddenly, driver hits the brake, and the person standing at the back falls off the person standing in front. If these people are particles, then we can say that the particles are colliding with one another, and in return, they are transferring their energy to each other. The energy of these particles will be known as kinetic energy. Now coming back to our example of the bus. The driver again hits the brake, but this time, the person standing in the back was alert and he didn't hit the person standing in the front. This means that the person who was standing at the back repelled to give their energy to the next person. The same is the case with the particles. Some particles, when coming near to each other, will try to repel themselves from each other, and they will not transfer their energy to each other as well. The process of diffusion occurs in several places, but we will only talk about the diffusion occurring in the cell membrane. If we replace the bus with a cell membrane, and now the people in the bus are the particles that contain heat, then the concept will be clearer. All the particles will have heat known as kinetic energy. The particles are sometimes colliding with each other, transferring their energy, and sometimes repelling each other to retain their energy. This continual movement of molecules among one another in the cell membrane is called diffusion. Let us discuss an important law that will help you understand the process of diffusion even better. Stay tuned.
Ditch the hefty textbooks and embrace the convenience of learning on the go. Our interactive video content keeps you engaged, making learning medicine enjoyable